Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another live stream. We're so excited to be hosting one again tonight. So my name's Steph and I am the events officer at AIE Sydney campus, and we're also joined by XR, who is our events officer in Melbourne, and Luke, who is a modeling and texturing artist who we'll be hearing from pretty soon. So he is a alumni, and we're really excited to hear what he's been up to since graduating. So yeah, it should be an exciting stream. It's XR's first solo stream and I'm running the back end, so I'm looking forward to it. Just remember, if anyone has any questions, please pop them in the chat and I'll be popping in and out to answer them for you or to pose the questions. And yeah, I guess we'll get straight into it. Thanks so much, guys. Take it away.
Thanks, Steph. Thanks for the introduction. Hello, Luke. Welcome. Thank you so much for giving me your time to spend it with us this evening and to share your experience and find out more about yourself. Of course, I'll let you do all the talking. So firstly, my first question I would like to ask is, what is your role in a studio environment?
Thank you for having me. I'm, so excited. I'm a model texture artist at Method Studios. So, dealing with 3D objects, what we call assets, and sort of going through references and concepts that we get given by the clients that we replicate or design ourselves, and give down the pipeline to the rest of the visual effects studio to finish the result. And that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So you said you work for Method Studios. So in particular, working for that studio, what kind of projects have you worked on? Have you worked on any featured films or short films?
Yeah, I've worked on heaps, but the main ones that I can talk about is the ones I worked on my internship. So my 6-month internship, which was like Shang Chi, that one that you see here, Mortal Kombat, Conjuring 3, and Candyman. And please don't spoil the last 2 movies that I just said because I haven't watched them yet, but I'm excited to watch them eventually. Yeah. So this was Mortal Kombat 2. Did the weapons for the hero character, and I had what's it called? I guess input into killing Goro. So you're welcome. Not joking.
Awesome. So working on each film, was each project very different in the techniques and the work you did on them?
Yeah, everything's very different. Every asset has its own challenges. Say for this candy, like it's a simple candy, but the wrapper had to be designed in a special way for visual effects to actually simulate like the wrapper coming off. It's just every little asset has its own sort of intricate sort of pipeline to sort of making it the result that's needed for the movie. But lots
Definitely.
of art
Cool.
do go down the sort of same pipeline, but lots do have its own sort of little methodology.
Yeah, awesome. And I guess now working in the featured film industry, having your name on a couple of credits here and there, I'm interested to know what inspired you to get into this area, this industry itself. Was there like a favorite film that, flickered that switch for you to motivate you to go down this pathway?
Yeah, there was, but mainly I'm just a big movie buff, like since I was been a kid. So any sort of input into the film career was just an added benefit. I didn't know anything about visual effects when I sort of was growing up, but it came to a point where game art seemed like an interesting thing. You started seeing indie people starting to create interesting things. Software like Blender was starting to get a little bit more useful in regards to like more a professional level result.
Yeah.
There was tutorialists like Andrew Price, who's probably the biggest inspiration in where I am right now, just because his tutorials showed how you can make 3D things like grass and just models and stuff. And yeah, just that was a big inspiration. That guy for sure. But Matrix and The Fifth Element, lots of sci-fi movies were the
Yep.
biggest inspiration. But Matrix and especially Fifth Element, if anyone hasn't watched it, go watch it. But yeah, that was a big one for sure. They were just
Awesome.
they're just really in its own sort of wheelhouse of just art and style. So yeah, that was a big one.
Awesome. And I guess, sparking your interest in these blockbuster films and sci-fi and everything as well. What made you interested to study at AIE?
Uh, it's a long road. I used to do this stuff when I was in high school.
Yep.
I was into the game art. I was really like
Cool.
interested in getting it after school, after high school, to go into this sort of career. And a very close friend of mine, he said it's like damn near impossible to get into the industry, and I
Yep.
took that to heart, and
Okay.
went a different route. I went to like software engineering, computer science,
Yep.
and went through the traditional route, and I hated it. I really did. I
Yep.
flunked hard, and then that same friend who wasn't even trying, he got into Luma Studios, which is a big Melbourne studio for
Yep.
Marvel films, especially. And I was like, literally the day that he got into Luma, I looked all over the place for Google, like over Google, and found AIE. And yeah,
Yep.
dude, just what they had, like the interesting teachers, like there was Daryl, Tonko, Heath, like the
Yep.
alumni with their reels were like so impressive that I didn't think like was actually possible at that time. I thought that was
Wow.
like years
Cool.
and years, and yeah, it was very impressive what the alumni did at that point, and it's just been growing ever since. The capabilities, especially since the tools have come. Substance Painter wasn't even a thing when I was around when I started,
Yep.
and now like just so many artists that just come out of the woodworks and just if you ever see ArtStation, like you just understand how quick the skill levels are just rising. It's so cool.
Yeah, definitely different skills, and the technology is always adapting and changing. So
Yeah.
definitely it's a very adapting industry, and definitely the software skills on it as well. I know you touched on your teachers and people who inspired you, wanting to study at AIE and everything. What was it like to be studying at the campus? How was the classroom environment? How were the teachers? And your experience overall studying over the 2 years?
I mean, it's hands down the best time I've ever had in a classroom, including primary school and high school. Like,
Yep.
no kidding. Like, this is coming from a guy who went to uni and did so bad that one day he woke up at the exact same time their exam started. Like
Wow.
that still haunts me. So comparison wise, it's just a different beast. It's just everyone's. You can make friends. You can really make friends. You can make a community of like friends that you can just. I'm still friends with people from AIE now. I still talk to
Beautiful.
my
Yeah.
teachers now. They you got 2 years to hang out with your teachers. They care like genuinely, like they
Yep.
just really are helpful that you don't get like in your uni experiences, in my experience
Yep.
at least. And yeah, and if anyone's seen this that short film that we did with the rabbit, I mean that was just all the teachers' input, like outside of hours, and just tolling over how to get that working. They just everything is just above and beyond helpful in that in like just classroom really is.
Yeah. That's so nice to hear as well. I guess, imagining when people are looking at studying at AIE and being like, is this the pathway for me? And hearing for someone like yourself who's gone through studying at the Melbourne campus and then also pursuing a career in the industry, that's very, very awesome. So I know before you were saying that you got an internship at Method. So my next question to you was going to be, how did you land your role there? So was it through that pathway, starting off with the internship?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't advise my I guess shyness of an approach to getting into the VFX industry. I was very I didn't apply to many jobs. I didn't really try. Like I was just sort of nervous with my skills. And this was called Victoria Government Grant came around, and was in partnership with Luma Method, and
Beautiful, yeah.
they would accept a couple people a year. I tried the first year. I got like an interview with Luma, and my work wasn't that impressive, but that didn't deter me. I just like kept working, kept building up my portfolio, just learning little additional things that I knew would come up in a real life visual effects industry. And I got that sort of knowledge from my teachers who still talk to me
Yeah,
even at that point. And yeah, just second year came, I tried again, had a better reel. I was more confident with my skills, and
awesome.
yeah, got in. Like after out of hundreds of applications, me and a fellow AIE alumni, Zach Peterson, he also got
Yeah.
it. And yeah,
Oh,
we've just been
beautiful.
there. Yeah, and we've just been both there since. That's since
That's
2020.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Just seeing the pathway that, sometimes it's not always going to be linear. There's going to be challenges and, growing that confidence and getting that support from your teachers and getting you right into that space. That's really awesome to hear. Really motivating
Yeah.
in a way as well.
And it's like I know it's a very deterring thing to think that like a year or two could pass since you graduated, but with lots of industries it's like that anyway. You just got
Yeah.
to put in the effort, and with this kind of industry it's so easy to be motivated just because it's so different to everything else. It's not like your typical industries where it's a little bit more monotonous.
Yeah.
It's like a real tinkerer's dream of a career. You want to learn
And
things.
you
You
sound
want to
really
try.
cool as well when you tell
Yeah.
people what you do, I think, as well.
Yeah, there's that part. I don't want to brag, but yeah, it's a cool thing to say.
Yeah.
It's a little different
Yeah.
to the usual sort of, hey, what do you do? And
Yeah.
I'm happy to preach what I do, but I'm not happy to say what I'm working on at the
Be
current
proud,
time.
being
Yeah,
proud of
yeah,
what you do. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Okay. So how many years have you been working professionally now for?
I am closing up on my second year, I guess,
Okay.
in my visual effects career. I think I'm a couple months away.
Yeah,
So I'm
awesome.
still like very new, and like it does it feels like a long time. It feels like I've been there
Yeah.
for longer just because it is it can be a stressful job. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, but it's so rewarding just seeing it on the big screen. Like going to see Mortal Kombat, just seeing like, hey, that little thing that you can't see in the dark. I'm still so happy that it's there because it's mine. There's so much just happiness just seeing like that sort of effort go to the big screen and people see it, and regardless if they receive it well or not, it's still awesome to see people seeing what I've worked
Definitely.
on. Yeah.
Definitely. And I guess over those 2 years, is there anything that really stands out to you, the most rewarding experience you've learned in your professional career so far?
It's yeah, that
Sorry,
one
that's
I
a deep
just
question.
it's a deep question because there is a lot to it. There's like just what I said before. It's like lots of times you just want to see your effort being produced in a nice way. You want to see like
Yeah,
it's shown. Like you build something, you want it to be shown, and it's such a rewarding feeling, that kind of aspect of putting in so much effort and it actually being shown and received. And but also it's just people. It's really the people in the industry too. It's different. There's so many cultures, so many different sort of people with their own little weird quirks that you got to love
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
you're set in like you just one area of the world and you just don't see so much. But I'm friends with like French people, Brazil people, and just the it just
It's
keeps
such a
going and
diverse
just
industry.
it's so diverse. It's so interesting. The stories that they tell you, the horror stories are just as fun. Not yet. Don't have my own horror stories anytime soon. So, but at the moment, just having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
awesome.
hard one to just say my favorite part, but everything's just been a great time. It really has. Even the stressful moments, it's just been rewarding because it's such a different reward uh, career.
Yeah, definitely. That's really great to hear. And I guess, where you're up to now, we currently have AI students, studying on campus. What advice would you give an AI student that is soon to graduate?
Um, yeah, just I guess I'm going to project a little bit with my own sort of history, but don't quit early. Don't be deterred by just applications being
Yeah,
rejected. There's lots of people that like in my industry that I've heard that have applied hundreds of places.
yeah.
It's a thing. But like it's so rewarding at the end. But what was the question again? I just lost it when I
Yeah,
was
just
thinking.
what advice you would give AIE students soon to
Yeah,
graduate? So you're talking about them being resilient, getting constant rejections, and for that not to deter them away
yeah.
from it. Was there
And
anything
also
else?
yeah, just try to maintain your friends, try to maintain like
Yeah,
your group because it's like you're all eating that sort of same pie, you all sort of want to do the same sort of thing. It might not be the same part of visual effects, but you're all trying to get into that field and there's nothing more motivating. I'm friends with an artist, like a talented artist who just moved to London in for NPC, working on
oh,
hopefully some
awesome.
great things. Her name's Steph Creek, and like literally, I've talked to her for years since
Yeah,
like school's finished, and we just motivated each other, just saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, and it just like if you're not doing anything, it just cheers you up to make you want to do something, and
yeah,
even if you hear your friends getting jobs, you're like, oh, so it is possible.
yeah.
And I think with my year, there was a big influx of uh, people getting jobs that year too. So there was
Awesome.
something I feel like I have the right to say, like, making friends and keeping them and just seeing what everyone's doing helps for sure. Like, not
Yes.
make you lose yourself in the abyss of like, hey, no one's seeing me. Hey, no one's seeing my work. It's just it levels it out. And like you can always reach out to the teachers still. I mean, Tomko's amazing Facebook page. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's
Yeah, he
everyone's
told me
just still
about it because
connected.
everyone's
Everyone,
networking and
yeah, everyone's
staying
just still
connected even
connected.
beyond. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's helping. You just just keep motivated and just realize just that there is the same people around you and that they're trying to do the same thing and just help each other really. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And I just have one final question for you as well. I know some of our viewers might be even high school students, they're doing their year 11, year 12 studies, and they're trying to decide to which pathway they want to go, which core subjects they want to pursue after finishing high school. Like you were saying that, you in high school, you loved all those blockbusters movies and you worked on your own projects and stuff. I guess, would you give your high school self any advice? Go to AIE or, any advice in particular?
I mean, for sure. I would suggest initially just because it isn't like an expensive career. Like even if you didn't go to school, the software can be expensive if you wanted to be a professional. I'd say literally at the start, just look for free to use applications, software. There's Blender, which man, I'm so jealous of anyone who's about to graduate because Blender, even as a professional like me, I'm going back and at home using like free to use applications because they've bridged that like I guess that gap
Yeah.
to a certain degree, and it's been helpful. So there's heaps of free to use software, even like compositors. There's like Nuke. which is like
Yeah.
really expensive, but they have like non-commercial applications, and you don't need to pay a cent to check, like, test the waters of this industry. Look at YouTube tutorials, Andrew Price,
Yeah.
Flip Normals. There's heaps of tutorials for whatever you want, and if it mildly interests you, I mean, go to AIE. I mean, you can do it yourself, you can, but AIE really does speed that
The
process up. It
relationships,
really,
like you were
the
saying.
relationships, I mean, like the motivation, getting the help, because that rabbit I did in the second year, there is no way I would have done it in the same amount of time by myself. There is no way
Yeah.
that I would have had it animated, I would have got it rigged, I would have had the fur
Yeah.
rendering. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just,
And it was a group project, so it's teamwork and, working with a dynamic range of people as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's just, I think, I mean, I know schools sometimes have a bad reputation, but with AIE, it definitely saved me in regards to finding a career I wanted. It was definitely my last hope, and it was a happy result at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
So we're getting near the end, but I just have a couple questions for you. So, also, just firstly, I want to say that I really admire that you were talking about how much hard work you put in. You were saying in the beginning you weren't the greatest, but it's the effort that you put in, and also networking. So I think that is a really, really, really important thing to take away. So really respect that. I just want to know, so obviously there is a portfolio involved in an interview when you apply. So people can find that quite scary, and they're not sure what to give in, and they're like, I haven't done 3D, I don't know VFX. I just want to know, what kind of things did you hand in for yours?
I mean, the first time that I applied, it was very underwhelming. It was very bad results of models and textures, but I gave it a try. But the second year it was like I did some organic because I did modeling texturing, so I guess it doesn't apply to everyone. But I did like organic objects. I did hard surface objects. I did textural, challenging sort of projects. I try to hit like most of the big buttons for what my career does, and that sort of did the job. With the interviews though, I'm a bad interviewer. I'm a stage
It's
fighter.
good you're honest with that as well.
Dude, I promise you, I can't hide it. It's just a thing. I get nervous. Sometimes I tear up. I'm a very stage fright person. Okay, so take it from me. Just try your best. Just really research what possible interview questions you could get, because that's what I did, and I sort of rehearsed a lot of my lines, like to the point that I understood what was happening, and just do your best. Try to not take it so seriously. Maybe have something else in the works on the side to not make you so desperate for the job. That usually helps, but that's easier said than done. But I guess you just got to jump in the deep end and just give it a try. It sucks, but hey, take it from me. It ended up working, so it's possible to be near in tears and still doing okay for my interviews. So yeah.
Thanks for being so
Great.
honest and transparent.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to guess. You're doing so well right now. I wouldn't even have guessed that you have stage fright. So yeah, killing
That's
it.
You
Doing
can
well.
only see like the top half of my body. So that's okay.
Yeah, right. Cool. Well, did you have any final things you wanted to say? Any sort of final thoughts? Otherwise, we will move into the website.
That's a
I
wrap
just
for
hope.
me.
Oh, sorry. I just hope that people just take any sort of advice of just just trying like this industry, because it's getting more popular. The games are getting bigger. The movies are getting bigger. Netflix is going crazy with shows and like any other application, so any other streaming service. So the more the merrier, I guess. So please give it a try. It's definitely a rewarding sort of industry, and yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it
Please.
was interesting as well, the fact that you were saying one of your friends was like, oh, there's no jobs, and we're
Yeah.
finding total opposite right now. A lot of our alumni are just getting snatched up so quickly because, like you were saying, a ton of things are moving here, studios are moving here, everything is being produced at massive rates. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot
And
out there.
people
So
and people are taking those mentorships more seriously, like ILM, that they're doing all that junior programs and stuff. And
Awesome.
it seems like it's really just a booming business. Like even when I started, the numbers were very low in regards to demand, but literally ever since that year, it's just been going up. I've noticed. So yeah, just please give it a try. I mean, before you do something a little bit more depressing of a job, you know.
Definitely. Okay, well, thank you so much. I will take us through the website now. So, if you like what you've heard tonight or you want to know more about AIE, we have a whole bunch of interesting things on our website. So, we have all of our courses listed in here, including beginner courses and introductory courses. So, if you are in school and would like to study with AIE and finish a certificate while you're at school, we do have a Vet in Schools program. We also have our showcase, which will show all of our events. So our next will be March 17th. We've got an information evening that you can register for. So if you want to learn more about the courses, hear from our teachers. We also have our workshop pages. So this is where you'll find any of our past live streams, including the one for tonight. So I'm sure that if there's a career path you're interested in, we may have spoken to someone in it. So it's definitely a great tool that I wouldn't give a miss. We also have, I was talking about portfolio before, do not stress. We have a whole page dedicated to a portfolio and what we're looking for in each area. So there's that one as well. And if you are ready to apply now, there is this huge button here where you can apply. Applications are now open for June 2022. So there is that option as well. And if you have any questions at any if you have any questions at any point, please ask us a question. We are more than happy to help. Reach out to your local campus and yeah, get in touch. So that is everything from us. Hope you have a great night and thank you for joining us, and hopefully you'll be in for our next live stream. So thanks so much, Luke, and thank you, XR, as
Thank
well.
you.
See you guys
No
later.
worries. See ya.
See.